Hey there, everyone. This is Todd, and I thought I would try to go through a little bit of flight planning here in the PMDG 737 NGX. This perplexed me forever and still kind of does, I guess you could say, because I still run into things where I get a little lost. But for the longest time, I had a real hard time trying to figure out how to plan a flight using the FMC. This here is called the CDU, Central Display Unit, but I often refer to it as the FMC because that's really how I get to it. I'll be using, this is Flight Simulator 10 Steam Edition, which got me into flight simulating because I never had even had a PC. So enough about me. Let's see. I'll be using Navigraph, which is a paid service for maps. It also updates the air rack information in the FMC so that basically those two kind of line up and make sense together. I guess if you have an older air rack, you might not see certain things that have been updated. For me, it's worth it. It's like $8 a month, and I use it every day almost, which is pathetic. I also use FlightAware to plan out my missions, if you will, and is really more of an aid to myself to try to figure out how they put things together, because it was hard for me to sort of understand what was happening. And how to tie these things together with SID stars and these waypoints and things, and how they made everything tie together, and just understanding it was real hard. So I obviously, after watching a million YouTube videos, kind of got a clue about it, and then tried just trial and error, and that still happens today. Let's see what else. I'll be using SID stars en routes, which are things really to tie the whole thing together. A SID is a standard instrument departure, and that's basically how you get out of the airport. Like this here would be an example of one we're going to use today. How you get off the runway and to a certain direction that you want to end up at. And en routes are these crazy things which will drive anyone mad, not understanding kind of what you're looking at or where to look. That's really where I had the most problem is kind of where do I start? And I have a little bit better bearings now when I go into one of these. I kind of know where to look and what to look for, but still, once in a while, it will stump me. And stars, which are standard terminal arrival routes. Yeah, I'm using notes. That's okay. Like this example here is one we're going to use today for coming into the San Francisco area and getting into the right approach, so that we can land in on the 28 right, which is a common landing strip that everyone uses in this area for the most part, And that's that. So where I start really is looking at a flight plan. Today I dropped someone off at the airport, and they are going to Puerto Vallarta for a week or so. They're coming back on the 7th, which I can't actually see their flight because it's not on here yet. So I took an earlier flight, September 27th, Puerto Vallarta to San Francisco, and I just found out, you could find the gates here. That's great. I don't know why. I was always wondering that. Finding out what runway they landed on is a different story, so I kind of make that up as I go. In this case, I can tell that they're coming in or out, going in the direction of the southwest. So if I look at the graph for Puerto Vallarta, this is usually always situated in the north is facing up. So this would be the southwesterly direction, and that would be the 22 runway. And right here it says the heading of the runway, which is 219 degrees. So I got my airport or runway that I'm going to take off from. So that's basically the first animal that I'm tacking. So the next thing I was looking at was okay, Santa Fe. Usually right here you will see a SID, but in this case you're not seeing a SID. You're seeing a waypoint. So that threw me off when I went in here into Navigraph, and I was like looking for a SID that said, yeah, I haven't finished my coffee, Santa Fe, and I just couldn't find one. I went through both SIDs, and I'm looking for Santa Fe. There's no Santa Fe in there. It threw me off. I had to go in the en route and find Santa Fe, which I did. Where is that bad boy? It is somewhere right around... it was way far away from where I was trying to look for, which was by the airport. So I did find it here, and I thought, well, that's kind of far. That's not a SID. And then I found this UT4. That's the Airway. It's kind of like a freeway. And so I had to backtrack, and yeah, sure enough, UT4 was there. So then I would look at the SIDs, 22. I know I'm taking 22. And so we're coming out of this 22. We're going to swing around here, and here's UT4. So the Perla 3B is the SID I'm going to take. So I didn't know if that was going to be in the FMC or not. Turns out it is. And actually, the way I would do this is I would take it one by one. We're going to turn the power on. We're going to take some ground power real quickly. FS actions, ground connections, ground. Come up here, connect the ground power, and then we'll try to turn these annoying fans off because they're so loud. I can mute that for now. So once I did that, basically get the aircraft so there's power to it. I can go into fuel because it might throw my FMC off. I'm going to set it to 2/3, just a generic value. My payload, I'm going to set it to random. Ground connection's done, and I'm going to close this door that's always open, which I don't know why. And there's pushback, which is pretty cool. Then we'll go back to the FMC. We're going to clear that message. And once we got the power on, we're going to turn our inertial reference system on by right-clicking twice in this case, or maybe in any case. A lot of times when you push the init ref button, it'll kind of send you where you need to be. In this case, position init, which will set our IRS. But you can also go, when you see this index, you can kind of get to where you need to go if you need to get to your takeoff and see this information. Index is kind of where you'll find that stuff. So in this case, we need to set our IRS position. I am tripping over my words. So we're going to grab the GPS left. Then we're going to go back, and we're going to paste it into there. That'll allow the onboard stuff to know where we are, the FMC. And if I use bad terminology, I apologize. It's because I'm a rookie. And who cares, right? So the next thing I want to do is try to set up the first thing, which would be my departure. So I'd come in departure and arrivals, come to depart. Hello. That's weird. Oh, I know why. Sometimes you get ahead of yourself. Go to route first, and so it knows that we are in MMPR, which, how does it know? Because I put that in there? Did I put that in there? I don't think I did. So go to route and enter that. It'll already be in there if you've selected that for the, I'm jumping around here, index, ident, index position. In here you will most likely have to put that in there, and it'll tell you where you're at. Or you're telling it where you're at. Good Lord. Major fail. So routes page, and then we're going to select our destination. In this case, it's KSFO, which is SFO, San Francisco Airport International. In this case, Alaska is out of the international terminal. The flight number for this flight is ASA 223. You don't have to put a flight number in there. Company route is when you save a route, that's where you would pull it up. But we're not going to use that today. I'm not going to put a runway in there. It'll actually put that in there for me. An easy way to get this box to unclick is hit the tabs button. It used to lock by the tabs button, but it doesn't anymore. And I don't want to figure out how. So just click on it to get the box there, and unclick it if you want to move around with the space bar. That's something you'll figure that out, obviously. It's an easy one. So again, departures, arrivals. Now it knows we're at Puerto Vallarta. We're gonna leave from runway 22. And so I usually step by step this is I go to the flight in FlightAware, and I search the flight number that they gave me, and it came up with this. So I just selected a flight out of this. So the UT4, so we know that the SID that we're taking is the Perla 3B. So that's the first thing I would do, is select the Perla 3B. Let's see, where are we here? Perla 3B. All right. So you can use these to change the resolution of the map. And you can hit center to more center it if you want. That's sometimes helpful, seeing things. So we've gotten all the way up to Alman. So we want to look at our chart again, and we're UT4 to TIG. I got confused by the Santa Fe. I think I already went through that. So TIG is the Tijuana. And that is following the UT4, Santa Fe, all the way to the TIG. So what you can do to use like the freeways or the airways in the FMC, you would go to route, and then there's 2 pages here. So you got to go to the next page, and there's our first part. So we know that we're going to use, I should have 2 computers so I can sort of cheat a little bit. The UT4 Airway. And I spent millions of times entering things in here not knowing the VIA, what the VIA meant. The VIA is the airway here. This number right here, UT4, that's kind of the freeway. And these are the destinations or waypoints that you're going to enter in. So in this case, if I'm coming all the way, let's say we're coming from LMM, and I want to use the UT4. I don't have to enter these waypoints. I'll just put LMM, and then in the via place, I will put the UT4, and then I will put up where I want to end up, in this case, TIJ, and it'll enter the rest for us, TIJ. And it took it. So in the legs page, it'll add the waypoints in there for you, so you don't have to type each waypoint. That always confused me. I thought I had to enter each one, and it took forever. So until I learned how to use the via correctly, I mean, I was stumped on that forever, trying to figure out what via was. That really saved me a lot of time. So we are up to Tijuana now. So I've gotten to Tijuana here, and now it's like I have to figure out where to go next. So I'd go back to the flight. After Tijuana is LAX. So I would go back to my en route page and search through this muck to figure out where LAX is. Yes, here it is, and right here, of course, the most, obscure place you could find right on the line. But once you kind of figure out where the map is, it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of figure out. I need to go from Tijuana, which this blue line leads to this dot here. I know, terrible. I'm going to want to follow. I want to get to here. Now, for fun, I added in the Erie to LAX. So I can add Erie directly. I'll just type in E-I-R-E-E. As my map show it. Well, you can't see it, but you will see it shortly as I go through the plan in plan mode. And then LAX. So we can go to our legs page, which will show all the waypoints. And then we could put this into plan. And now it will center, see the center here? It will center that waypoint. And you could adjust the resolution to sort of get a clearer picture. And use this step here. To kind of get a sense of what's happening. Santa Fe, Oasis, Tijuana, Erie to LAX. When I looked at my map, I'm like, well, if I wanted to, I could go straight to LAX. How do I do that? I would come in here to my legs page. I would find that. And I would click LAX, which will enter it here, and I'll put it here, and it'll go straight to LAX. So in a sense, that's how you sort of jump things, which can be helpful when things get out of hand in here, which they most certainly will when you're first learning. So we've gotten to LAX. What's next? Go back to our FlightAware page. So if I start entering all these things in, I'm going to get ahead of myself because what is here is the SID. Excuse me, the STAR. The Standard Terminal Arrival Route. And that's basically sort of like a set route that you're going to take to get into the area of the airport to get you to the runway you want to get to. So that would be right here. The Surfer 1. So we know that it's the Surfer 1 because on our FlightAware page, it's Surfer 1. I sound like a bumbling idiot. Oh well. So I know I'm taking 28 right. There are two surfer ones. There's 19 left and right, and 19 left and right, and 28 left and right. So I'm going to select this one. It's one thing I don't like. It does take a little time, and using the en route page can get a little blurry when you zoom in somewhere. It's not doing it now, and it could take a little time to load. But I kind of overlooked that because it and this is sort of clunky the way all this sort of works. I'm not a big fan of that, but it does work, and it serves two purposes. Where was I? I was over here, and so I know I'm taking the Surfer 1, and I'm going to want to end up over here. 28 right is facing this way, so this makes sense to come here. So before I start like getting too ahead of myself here, I'm going to want to go back to the departures and arrivals page, go to arrivals, and I know I'm going to go ILS 28 right. I know that I'm taking the Surfer 1. Now 28B I assume means right, left being A, and 28 being B, as far as I can tell. So I'll select that. Now I know by looking at the star that Menlo is going to be our transition. It could be Westla if you wanted to go this way, but we want to end up at Menlo. Definitely another thing that I used to get confused on, and still confuses me when I don't know the area. And a little trial and error will get you there. So we'll select Menlo. So that pretty much has got most of the route. Now it's not going to be complete. There's going to be a gap in there. Santa Fe, Oasis, Tijuana, LAX, and then Surfer. So, okay, so what are we supposed to do there? Go back, look at my page, and, oh, there's an RZS in the middle. Well, what's that? Let's see here. So this is another crazy thing. You can't turn it sideways either to make it north. So you have to know that north is this way or this way. That can always throw you off. But I know that LA is down here somewhere. Let's see. Here's LAX. And I need to find RZS. Where is that? RZS, there it is. So there's RZS. And there's no waypoints in between, so I don't need to use the Airway to sort of like jump those things together. So I can go direct from LAX to RZS. Hey, sorry, I got interrupted there. Back to where I was. So KLAX to RZS. So I can enter that directly in the FMC using the routes page, not the legs page. So RZS. So it took that on. We're a little bit closer. So what's next? Is Surfer. So basically I can Go to my next page, take Surfer, click it, which will copy it in here. Come up here and enter it there. Bam. That is the entire route put in together. That's about it. You would activate it and execute it. Yeah, there's Active Sky Next in here. I could set my barometer to make that work. There's a ton of other things, obviously, that tie into the flight simulator. But another thing is when you mess up, go back to your routes page and just start over. And the easy way to do this is to double-click this. And that'll completely clear the route, and you can just start over. That's what I had to do to basically go over and over and try to figure out, because I didn't know how to clear things out. And I'm still learning as I go. So I guess that will pretty much clear that up. Sorry for tripping over my words. I'm going to have to get to what just got interrupted by me. Yeah, but I hope that helps. I hope even one person can see this even. I don't know. I've never had really a lot of views on YouTube, at least on this channel. So I'll see if this helps anybody. Leave any comments, any questions. I haven't helped anybody, but I'm willing because it's kind of fun at this point. All right, take care.